What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, live here from Raymond James Stadium after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the New Orleans Saints 23-13. How do we start off this show as we always do before and after Bucs games? If this lawnmower will give me a break here, I'm going to go ahead and do my best. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Open phone lines. I know there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that want to talk about this game, and as they should. Lack of urgency, as my notes are gone right there, by this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, and it started in the first half. It started 17-0 down to the New Orleans Saints. You just can't get down to a team like that. 43 yards of passing. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Gotta love the Florida wind here. I mean, statistics, 5 for 10 for Baker Mayfield, 43 yards. Not going to get it done. Is it all on Baker Mayfield? Definitely not. I feel like this is also on Todd Bowles, getting this team ready to go. Was this team ready to go today? Didn't seem like it. Did it seem like it to you? And then finally in the fourth quarter, that urgency steps up. You actually put some points on the board, but too little, too late. An awful game by Baker Mayfield, no doubt. And then on top of it, you talk about that 4-game winning streak. What was the difference? The difference is you're not turning over the ball, which they did a lot of today. What was it, 5 turnovers, including the 2-point conversion there, which it looks like you're going to get back into that game with Chris Godwin, and then they call that back, and then he throw an interception. So an awful game today by Baker Mayfield, an awful game today by this Bucs offense, an awful game all around. The defense is definitely not without blame at this point. When you're not able to get off the field on third down, I get it. I understand it. Your offense didn't necessarily help you out. So open phone lines. Want to talk to you guys. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. As we will start off with the comments here. Roger Shue says, first, I told you, Pete, Baker Mayfield, $20 million a year. Are you crazy? Well, listen, I understand that. I get that because you're a troll, and that's what you're going to do. But if you look at his overall numbers, there's definitely warrant for, being in that conversation. But this is the problem with Baker Mayfield. It's up and down like this season has been up and down. Let me go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution.
What's up, Pete? It's Edson from Iowa calling in. How you doing, man?
Man, it's a tough game to watch today because you felt like this team had everything to play for. All you have to do is win the NFC. All you got to do is beat the Saints, and you win the NFC South. And that just didn't show up today, did it?
It just did not, man. Baker Mayfield, his inconsistencies, it just hurt us.
Yep.
Our defense continuously just got gashed by the pass.
Yeah.
It was really just rough to watch. And then, at the end of the game, Baker Mayfield, he puts up a couple of scores, and it's just like a little bit too late. And it's just, we're not going to be able to make a run in the playoffs playing like this, not at all, man. And it was just really rough being a Bucs fan today,
It is, absolutely. And again, you have the turnover situation. I mean, it feels like you're going to get momentum here, Edison, where you're driving the ball with Rachaad White, who finally has his biggest run of the day for 18 yards. And what happens? It looked like he's going to the sideline, and he fumbles the ball. I mean, that's disappointing. Yeah. I mean, you get a long play to Trey Palmer at the end of it to get you back in it, and it looks like he's going to go and score a touchdown or at least be down at the New Orleans 12-yard line, and instead he fumbles the ball. I mean, that was the kind of day it was for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Disappointing.
The earlier interception to Trey Palmer, where he almost scored, if he would have just let him just a little bit more, that was a for sure touchdown.
Bad throws today by Baker Mayfield. He wasn't good. Yeah. I mean, again, I go back to it, and I've been a guy that would come on here and tell you, I think he should be in the MVP conversation. And today he should be in the conversation of a guy that, he's so inconsistent And I like to see the press conference at the end of it because he would probably say the same thing. He didn't play his best football today. The reason why the Bucs go on that 4-game winning streak is they're not turning over the ball. They're not shooting themselves in the foot, and they did none of that today. And look, the Saints, they had everything to gain today. If you win this game, you're still back in the playoff chase. Now, that's not to say, the Bucs can't, beat Carolina next week because that's certainly a winnable game. But you can't have the type of effort you had today. Lack of urgency. For me, it's either Baker Mayfield with the offense. The offensive play calling is not there. The running game is not there. And I think this is also due to bad coaching by Todd Bowles. I don't think he had this team ready to go. What do you say?
I agree. I definitely agree. We weren't picked to win the Packers game. We weren't even picked to win the Jags game.
Yeah.
But all of the analysts picked us to win this game today, and it was definitely a winnable game. But like you said, no sense of urgency. We just didn't look ready to play. We didn't look ready to win this division. This team is not ready to go to the playoffs and make a run. It just didn't look like it.
Listen,
today,
you were thinking you had the opportunity there with 4 in a row. Everything was going your way, and in this game, I don't know what team that was. That was the team that went through a bad losing streak. Hold on a sec here. Stand by. All right, we're gonna come out to you in a moment. I'm gonna finish up with Edison, and then we'll come out. Stand by. All right. All right, well, stand by there on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
All I got to say is now, man, we got one more game. It's a Bucs life. We're not going to jump ship next week. We'll hope to win the division and try to make a run in the playoffs, man. But we can't do it playing like this, man. We got to shape up.
No, you're absolutely correct. You can't. Appreciate the call as always. Use that second call, and absolutely, it is a Bucs life. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's. Absolutely, my friend. Let me go back out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Sports Web in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show.
What's up, man? Bucs basement. We are in the basement again.
Well,
this is the team.
Yeah.
This is that team, bro. That was 1-6.
Yeah.
In every way, shape, or form, man. Oh, the favorite with the highlights. I mean, when you have Ryan Neal in coverage, you just know he's just going to give up the massive play, which he did.
Right. Why
was Devin White on the field more than KJ Britt? We are back in the 1-6 era. Why is Devin White not being switched up? Like that was what they said they were doing with Devin White.
Yeah.
He was going to be switched up every other play. It's going to be KJ Britt. He has not earned anything, and he did not earn anything in this game. He was terrible in coverage, just like he always is. Like, what is with this team? What is with Todd Bowles and his obsession with keeping these god-awful players on the field when they are a hindrance to the team? Like, did this dude get told by management, oh, it doesn't matter what happens now. You have your job, so now he's coaching like the pussy that he's been for the whole entirety of the season, except for that streak when he was coaching with his head on fire.
Yeah.
The fact that we punt on 4th and 2, 4th and 9 when we're down 20, Todd Bowles didn't have the biscuit. He didn't have any balls in this game. It's like it truly feels like he was told by management, it's okay, you're good now. You'll be back next year. Like that's not the Bowles that we've had the last. This is the Bowles that we had when we were shit. And that's what we look like, utter shit. And to me, there should be zero reason why that man is kept as head coach, especially knowing everything's on the line. And this is the players that he puts on the field. This is the product the players give him.
Yeah.
F out of here. He's been this is coaching. This is coaching. Everything today was Todd Bowles special. No timeouts once again. Like, why couldn't you ice the kicker? You thought, oh, it's Raymond James. You can miss a field goal here. Plenty of fucking kickers do it all the time. This dude didn't ice the kicker. This dude doesn't believe in anything. It's just, he's so freaking frustrating. And it's the same team. It was the team I recognize. You know how I called the Christmas Eve? I was like, this team I don't recognize. This team I recognize.
Well, and this was disappointing because you thought that you avoided this with, more aggressive on, the passing game, coming out and passing. Once again, you saw a lot of, first down running. I don't understand it. The Boo Birds came out later on in the game because you get tired of seeing the run on first down. I mean, this team was ultra aggressive. You're exactly right. Calling timeouts. They went back to their old ways here. So, it was tough to watch.
Way.
Right. Right. It's conservative gameplay, and then on top of it, your defense is not without blame. Again, I get it. Your offense didn't necessarily help you out, but your defense, when they're not able to get after Derek Carr, and you look at the numbers, before the first half, 17 for 21, 142 touchdowns. I mean, that's kind of like what Baker has been doing this 4-game winning streak. So Derek Carr came out. This defense played a soft zone. They didn't get enough pressure on him, and Carr picked him apart. Anything else here on the evolution?
The Saints played like they had something to play for, and apparently the Bucs didn't have anything to play for.
Yeah.
Because I figured they're like, oh, if we lose this game, we'll just take Carolina. You think that way. You get your ass whooped in Carolina. I'm actually I just like, even if we get the Eagles, and the Eagles have looked bad, and they just lost to the Cardinals, so we'll see what happens. But if we get to the playoffs, if this is the team that shows up, why the hell make the playoffs? So we got the 19th pick in the draft to be stuck in mediocrity.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's disappointing because you feel like they got over it. They're hitting their stride. You're winning 4 in a row. You feel good about it. You got a home playoff game. You have everything to win and everything to lose at the same time. Again, the Bucs are not out of this, but you have to have a better effort. And, having 43 yards by, your quarterback who's played well but did not play well today at all. I mean, was that your big key for this game, that he didn't play well? Because I felt like he had one of his worst games. It was worse than the Atlanta Falcons against the Atlanta Falcons. It was that bad.
That Panthers game in the rain was pretty awful as well.
Yeah.
That was miserable.
Yeah.
So, but this was definitely Baker's worst game of the season by far. And we'll see what happened. He looked banged up, so who knows?
He took a shot.
Young, right?
He took a shot at the end of the game. It looked like he took a shot to his ribs. Baker's a tough guy, but that definitely looked like it hurt him on that 2-point conversion, as it looked like the Bucs were getting back into the game. Appreciate the call, Bucs Basement. Use that second call if you want to, okay?
Take it easy, man. Have a good one.
All right, good stuff there. Bucs lose to the New Orleans Saints here, live from Raymond James Stadium on the Evolution on Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Open phone lines if you want to talk about this loss. Where's your confidence level now? Once again, yes, we are live, and I do see you right there. It's okay. It's okay, no problem. Let's go out to Mr. Ed. Ed, welcome to the Evolution from Palm Harbor. After your Bucs fall to 8-8, they lose to the New Orleans Saints, 23-13. Your thoughts?
Well, today I'm in Palm Coast, but yeah, I still live in Palm Harbor.
All right, stand by, Ed. Hold on a second. Let me put you on hold here. Jim, we're gonna come out. We're gonna go with Ed. We're gonna come out to you. Okay, stand by. All right, stand by. Go ahead, Ed.
Am I there?
Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
Okay. Yeah, very disappointing game. The whole team played like crap.
Yeah.
I blame the first half on very bad play calling, very bad preparation for the game.
Yeah.
You're not going to run the ball down the throat of the Saints. You're just not. You should have learned that already after, what's this, his third game now playing the Saints, Todd Bowles. So he should have learned. We beat him 3 times in a row. 2 of them with Todd Bowles. He should know how to beat them by now.
It started from the first half on. It started from the first quarter on. The Saints wanted this game, and again, I talked about this on the pregame show. Wouldn't it be nice to see this team on their opening drive go down and score some points, at least a touchdown, and they're not able to do it again? And listen, you may be able to get away with, getting off to slow starts at this point against maybe mediocre and bad teams. You're not going to be able to do that against a team that is desperate to win a game, of course, to keep their playoff lives in contention.
Yeah, the only good news about all this is that next week we play the Panthers, and we should be able to take. If they don't take that game, I'll tell you what right now. That coach should be fired at the end of the game. Honestly.
Well, and again, I think there's a lot to play on the line here, because if you beat the Panthers, which you should beat the Panthers, you should have been able to take care of business today. But give the Saints credit. They came out. They dominated the game largely. Of course, when you convert on third down, your defense is not able to get off the field, you're going to win games. When your defense is not able to get after the quarterback and he's able to pick you apart, you're going to win games. When you don't turn over the ball, which the Saints didn't do that much of today, right? You're going to win games, and that's what happened today with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What else?
So what's the playoff scenario? If the Bucs win next week, do they still have the division or no?
Yes, they still have the division as far as I know at this point. If the Bucs lose, then most likely they're going to have some help. And I don't know all the playoff scenarios at this point. And honestly, coming on this program, I thought with the way the Bucs were playing, they most likely had the advantage in this game and take care of business. So now, next week, it's a huge game. You have to win in Carolina. It's a winnable game. You have to take care of business. If not, then more than likely you have to depend on somebody else. And then there's going to, that chatter is going to come back again with Todd Bowles possibly being fired and everybody else being replaced. Of course, you don't want to have that.
Yeah, if they lose to next week, that's the end of Todd Bowles' career here, I think. I would think. You would think. I mean, you had it all going for you, and then, you just let it go away.
Right.
But, yeah. Okay, maybe I'll use my second call.
Use your second call,
Happy
and
New Year.
I appreciate you. Happy New Year, absolutely. Let's go back out to the phone lines. Let's go out to Jim. Jim, welcome to the Evolution. What did you see in this game after the Bucs fall 23-13? Go ahead and turn down your phone for me.
So every time can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Every time we lose, we're going to blame Todd Bowles, huh?
No, I mean,
he lost all them balls.
I mean, I think I came on this program, Jim, and I said specifically, this is definitely on the offense. This is definitely on Baker Mayfield. But if you think he had this team ready, do you think he had this team ready to go today? Because that's on coaching.
I think I think they listen to the news. They get lax when we get a little bit of credit.
Fair assessment.
Because every time I was saying on one of your other shows, I was like, man, every time these analysts give us a little credit, we get out there and play like we just gonna win the game already instead of coming out and he's playing the safe. It ain't like they gonna just let us win the game.
Correct.
So
absolutely.
Bro, we gotta come out there like we've been playing, not like we gonna win the game automatically.
Right.
We at home. Playing the same, so we just gonna automatically win the no, bro. That ain't how it's gonna go in the NFL.
No, of course not. And again, I go back to it. What did you see differently from the four-game winning streak? To now, you turned over the ball. You didn't take care of the ball. So of course, if you turn over the ball, that's not necessarily on coaching. That's on players taking care of the ball, and it's on Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield had one of his worst games of his career with the Bucs. Period.
Yeah, they came out lax. Okay, that's coaching. Don't come out. You got to come out fired up.
Yeah,
especially at home.
Agree. Completely agree.
So we started getting together at the last few minutes, and my guy dropped the ball like he was gone. He could have kept
Trey Palmer has a big time play. Was it 52 yards? And it looks like he may score a touchdown there, or at least put you in contention to make the game closer. And that was kind of the game and a microcosm today. Every time, it's one step forward and two steps back. And there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that kind of feel the same way. I've seen that in the past. I've seen that with this team this year. And again, going back to it, when you turn over the ball multiple times versus a Saints team, look, you're not going to win games. And in the background there, I got Mr. TJ Reeves, so we'll probably get him on here in just a little bit as we got his microphone ready there. But what else, Jim?
Yeah, I just think, man, if we get a little credit, we need to use the credit to our advantage, not lack, not sit back on our heels and think we're going to just win the game.
Right.
And that's one. Two, bro, we got to hold on to the ball. We ain't going to win no games losing the ball.
Right.
So
well, exactly. And it comes and it also comes down to, Baker Mayfield, of course, playing a lot better, making better throws, which he did on this 4-game winning streak there, as we got the great TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network coming on here. And you got it? Okay. All right, Jim, what else here?
Last thing, we need to score touchdowns, and I don't know what happened to Mike Evans. And if we didn't have their best DB on the field, and he didn't score no touchdowns. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. Large part of this game not having Evans involved, not having Chris Godwin involved. Jim, thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call if you want to. All right, my friend?
All right.
Appreciate you. All right, we got the great TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network here live from Raymond James Stadium as the Bucs fall to the Saints 23-13. I mean, your thoughts, a lack of urgency, turnovers, Baker Mayfield. I mean, where do you start here, TJ?
I don't know, and it's everything we had not been seeing, obviously, the last month in the 4-game win streak. Really, since the second half of the Carolina game, they were getting progressively better, more confident, taking care of the ball, all of those ingredients, defense, getting stops, getting takeaways, and all of that is out the window today. So I guess, I don't know if we chalk it up to a New Year's Eve hangover or what that was. I will say, having just been in the locker room a little while ago, to hear Levante David, Super Bowl champion, leader of this team, say, we weren't ready to play, I wasn't ready to play. That was eye-opening to hear him say that. We got to be better. We got to be ready to play. Tristan Wirfs agreed. We came out. We were not ready to play. We were flat. They were flat for a lot of the first quarter. They gave the Saints confidence, obviously. Once the game became 14-0, now you're struggling. Baker Mayfield struggled a lot of this game to hit open guys, throwing late, throwing behind guys, etc. So even still, you still had some chances. If you had done some things in the second half, you had some chances. But the Rachaad White fumble, Peter, that's right over there, is a costly moment, because even in that moment, it's 17-0. You go down and get a touchdown late in the third quarter. You're right back in the game, essentially, at 17-7, but you don't get that because of the turnover. They burn some clock. You go into the fourth quarter, and they kick a field goal to make the game 20-0 at that point. Yeah. And now you're in big trouble. So I wish that we had an explanation on why it was completely different than what we've seen the last month when you had everything to play for at home. We don't have that explanation as we do this immediately after the game.
Yeah, I know. And you know, a lot of people will say, well, are you going to blame, Todd Bowles on this? And I would say he definitely deserves some blame, but players have to step up, especially with everything that is on the line at the end of the day, TJ. You have everything that you want. All you have to do is win this game versus your hated division rival and the Saints, and you come out with that type of situation. I tell you what, let's go out to this guy right here. Let me go ahead and get his intro on. Here we go. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. Go, my friend.
Peter, TJ, what a disappointing loss. But with the formalities, Happy New Year, TJ and Peter.
Yes. Happy New Year to you. Look at this. Harry comes on the show and the lights come on.
The light. Let there be light.
Let there be light. So, Greek, did you have this handicap today? Did you have the Saints? Did you have this handicap today? Because not a lot of people, I don't think, even including in that New Orleans locker room, had this coming where they were up 17-0, 20-0 today. Yeah. What about it, Greek?
I had the Saints covering the points today. I didn't have them winning the game. I really thought the Tampa was on a roll. But apparently they weren't, so everybody's going to start jumping on that bandwagon again, TJ. I mean, let's fire Bowles. Baker's not going to get a contract. I mean, I just left the comment. It's really simple. In one game, Baker went from $40 million a year to $15 million a year. And if he loses the next game, God forbid, he went to $0 per year.
I mean,
are you trying to ruin what's left of the holiday season for me, Harry, with the Bucs losing next week in Carolina?
I got to ask.
I don't see them losing that game. Carolina put up a good game against, against Jacksonville, but everybody's playing good against Jacksonville right now. The season's not over. Don't jump off the bridges yet, guys. There's still one more week. The likelihood of them not winning division is very, very minimal. And let's be honest, Philadelphia just got beat in the fourth quarter
again. Okay, and we'll clarify this, Harry, because you just brought it up. We have been in contact and looked at everything. It is still the same. It is a win and you're in scenario for the Bucs as the NFC South champions. The reason for that is it will be a head-to-head tie with New Orleans. It will be a division tie if New Orleans wins and the Bucs win at 4-2. But on conference record, the Buccaneers currently lead the Saints by a game in the NFC record, which is the next tiebreaker. So a Buccaneer win next week, the Saints can't get in on the NFC record. So it is still if there's a silver lining out of what we just witnessed for 3 hours, it is still a win and no other help from the Falcons beating the Saints. Just win the game with Carolina and you win the division and you get a home playoff game.
Yeah, and I got to go out to TJ here. You on ground level. I mean, surprised by Baker Mayfield's play because I go back to it. 5 for 10, 43 yards
in the first half.
In the first half. I mean, this didn't look like the quarterback we saw throughout this winning streak. I mean,
no. And the key part is there were 2 or 3 times on third down where if they can make the throw, sustain the drive, they got behind 2nd and long, 3rd and long, over and over again. Some of that is the Saints and what they were able to do with the front 7. I'll say this, their run defense has not been good for a lot of this year, but they were manhandling, that's the right word, the Buccaneer front 5 offensive linemen for a lot of this game. And I see you shaking your head, and Greek, I heard you as well. That's what derailed a lot of what Dave Canales wanted to do.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of loud booing as he continued to try to run inside between the tackles, I guess to try to set some stuff up. And nothing really worked in the first half. And even out of the locker room, you get the ball. It's a 17-0 game. You don't move the ball. You don't get a first down. You go 3 and out and give it right back to them when you had a chance to make adjustments. So some of this you credit New Orleans, but by the same token, it's alarming that the Bucs could not run the ball on this team today, could not push them back, could not run the ball.
Right, and then you finally get
TJ, just to jump on to what you were saying here.
Yeah,
sorry,
go ahead, Eric.
Jump on to what you're saying. I want to go ahead and jump on that bandwagon right there. You're correct, but you have to give New Orleans the credit. They came out, they really stuck it to them. The offense for Tampa looked extremely off sync. I haven't gone over the coach's tape yet to really analyze exactly what happened, but just from the eye, they were getting outplayed.
They were getting beat up front.
They were getting beat.
At field level, I can tell you, and Peter, you were up high in the box, and those of you that were watching on TV, they're probably showing replays.
Yeah.
They were getting beat up front as an offensive line. And meanwhile, the Saints were giving Carr some time to throw. They were running it well enough, getting first downs by running the ball. They were getting push.
Converting third downs, too.
Yeah, they were getting push on the Buccaneers as an offense in the first half when the Bucs were not getting a push from their offensive line. Really for the whole game.
And for me, the key is we're on with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports world. We got the great TJ Reeves at the Buccaneer Radio Network. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here live from Raymond James Stadium after the Bucs fall to the Saints 23-13 to fall to 8-8. Still can win and get in versus the Carolina Panthers. Even when the Bucs made a big play today with White going for his longest run of the day, having daylight. Looks like he's going to go to the sideline. He fumbles the ball inexplicably. Trey Palmer.
He didn't just fumble it. The guy knocked it out of his hand. He had an outside hand towards the sideline, and unfortunately, it's just a careless play. You have to protect the ball there because he's made I think it was a 25-yard run with the little hesitation, but credit the Saint DB. He stayed with the play and he swatted it out of Rashad's hand as Rashad had it in his right hand, didn't have it secured, and the Saint came around him and swatted it out of his hand. He didn't just drop the ball. So unlike what happened with the Trey Palmer play, which again, inexplicable that he catches the long one, loses his footing but then loses the ball on the ground. He had a chance to even get up off the ground and maybe get in the end zone. And the worst possible thing that happened is he lost the football. It rolls forward. They get the recovery. It just summed up the day, what happened there in the fourth quarter.
Pretty much. And I mean, again, I went back and I talked to Bucs fans about this on the broadcast. 1 step forward, 2 step back. So now, you can't look back. You got to look forward here to the new year. And what a way to bring in the new year by beating the Carolina Panthers. And look, this is a winnable game. You can still win it. I get it. There's a lot of Bucs fans out there still negative, still thinking, Todd Bowles, this team, I get it. The effort wasn't there today, but you still got it all in front of you, TJ Reeves.
And Carolina, again, was shut out today. Yeah. Jacksonville with a backup quarterback beat them decisively. So how much fight are they going to have? The one thing that the Buccaneers have not been doing, really going all the way back to probably like the Detroit loss, the Philadelphia loss, is turnovers. And you had, for the offense, 4 turnovers today. Yeah. You can't win doing that. So you've got to go and be smart and be sharp coming up in Carolina to have the chance to go to the playoffs.
5 included with the 2-point conversion. It's
the pick.
Yeah, the pick.
I don't know that officially counts as a play on the 2-point play. Maybe it does, but that's a 5th one.
Yeah, that's a 5th one
in the end zone.
All right, what else, Harry? By the way, congratulations! Congratulations to your Bears today. I believe they beat the Atlanta Falcons. So there you go.
They did handle the Falcons. That's actually helping the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you know what? That wasn't really the problem. The bottom line is this, TJ. You're correct. You win, you win. You win, you're in.
Yeah.
The bad thing about it is that all the pressure is on Tampa. Every bit of it. They have to win. It's real simple. Let them win.
Well,
it's over. And you're right.
Here's
Carolina's are supposed to.
Here's
the early
the
line favorite's going to be -8.
They're going to be probably favored significantly, but here's the thing. This should have been a cold bucket of ice water thrown on you with what happened here today.
Yeah.
So you got to believe this team will be jumping at the chance next week and be more aggressive defensively as well. That's an inferior team that you're about to play. The only way they stay in the game is if you play like we saw a lot of today and you turn the ball over to give them life.
Right.
So tighten that up, and you should have a great opportunity to win that game in Carolina. It's a shame that that's what it's going to have to come down to, because you should have been relaxing next week with it almost like a preseason game.
Right.
Is what you should have been doing.
Right.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't work in this 2023 NFL. I mean, again, go figure that the Eagles have everything to play for at home against the Cardinals, and let the Cardinals completely outplay them in the fourth quarter and score a touchdown in the final minute to beat them. And now it's in play. All kinds of crazy things are in play. It's in play that if Philadelphia doesn't beat the Giants next week and the Cowboys win the finale, the Cowboys get the division. The Eagles are the wild card, and they're very likely coming here play
again.
the Buccaneers.
Yes.
And TJ, hold on. You ready for this? The Giants should have beat the Rams. They kicked the extra point to tie it. There was a penalty. They went for 2 and missed it. And then they missed the 54-yard field goal to win the game at the end.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. There's so much
So the
parity in
Rams
football
are now in the driver's seat for a wild card with a 9th win.
They are.
Seattle is playing right now, looking for a 9th win in the wild card. But we'll see.
We'll see
what happens.
It's unbelievable. Be blessed, guys. Happy New Year.
Same to you,
Continue
Harry.
what you're doing. TJ, love watching you. Peter, keep up the hustle, brother. We'll talk to you guys soon. Don't jump off the bridges yet, Buccaneer fans. It's not over. You're still in the driver's seat. You win, and you're in.
That's it. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the Sports Web. Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll give you a couple more things, and I know you want to talk to your callers and get your comments on, et cetera.
There's a caller who wants to talk to you because he continues
let's
to call here. Let's go out to Ed using your second call. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network.
So I wonder how much people won in Vegas. I was hoping to talk to Harry about that today, but he just got off the phone. But yeah, nobody thought, well, on my end, I didn't think for an inkling the Bucs were going to lose today. They were on a roll with, the wins the last 4 games, and they been beating the Saints.
Yeah.
The last 3 games, and the last time they played the Saints, they dominated them. And like the exact opposite happened today.
Correct.
We got dominated. And
so, Ed, we're here to help as a public service announcement for 2024. Today in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium, today at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia with Arizona's win are perfect examples of why you don't gamble on the NFL.
There you go.
Because nobody knows. And if we try to act like we know, we don't know.
No.
I have no explanation on either of those games. Keep your money in your pocket. That's why you don't gamble. Right there. Period.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying a lot of money must have been made today.
Yeah, well, hopefully you didn't lose
Vegas.
a lot of money off of that Bucs bet. Hopefully you did.
I don't bet.
Okay.
I bet one time, and I got destroyed.
we bet one
You would
time.
have lost a lot
that's it.
today on
Yes.
both of those games because, again, just go figure this year in the NFL. Anything can apparently happen. This is what we kept saying about just get in the playoffs, because anything can happen in the playoffs right now from what we've seen. So that's got to be the Buccaneers' focus. I'll wrap it up with you on this and for the audience. This is a bad taste in your mouth, but it's only temporary. The huge game is obviously next week, where you need no other help. Just win the game with Carolina, and then everything that was in front of you today is still in front of you, which is home playoff game. The only difference is you would have wanted to be resting guys next week and not scrambling to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
But everything is still in front of you to win and have a home game here. And you've never won the division 3 times in a row in franchise history. That's still in play as well here. So all of that's still in front of you. There is some optimism. Everybody be safe. Happy New Year. And we reload 7 days from now to see what happens.
Really quick, TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network, and I'm going to ask you, Ed, I don't know if I asked you today, New Year's resolution for 2024. Give it to me.
I gave you, Ed, give me yours. Go.
Make more money.
Make more money. Well, there you go.
All of us.
Yes. Yes.
How about a good New Year's resolution? Let's win a playoff game in Tampa Bay in 2024.
I love it.
Yeah, for
I love
football,
it.
Didn't get a playoff win last year.
Yeah.
Still may be playing the Cowboys. Again, if I understand the scenario correctly, a Philadelphia win, they're the division winner. A Philadelphia loss next week and a Dallas win, Dallas is the division winner. If they both lose, which again, Dallas is at Washington, I believe.
Yep.
Philadelphia is at the Giants. If they both lose, Philadelphia gets the division. Dallas still comes here. But a Cowboy win, an Eagle loss, and Dallas gets the division, and the Eagles are the wild card. And who'd have thunk that when they were 10-1, and they have the chance now to be a wild card team at the end of this year. So truly anything can happen right now.
It's a National Football League, which means not for long, as I guess that's a helicopter right there.
We got all kinds of stuff.
Helicopter,
we got
lawnmowers.
We got lawnmowers because you can see in the background they're going to dig up parts of the field because LSU and Wisconsin are going to be on this field in about 19 hours playing the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Yes,
coming up.
And I'll be here too.
We will be here as well.
All right,
Buck fans, Happy New Year. Peter, keep knocking them dead with your people.
We'll do.
Happy New Year, everybody. Hang in there.
Okay.
Still a chance for the Buccaneers to win the division. That's all you can ask for now.
That's
in the final
it.
game of the year.
Ed, thanks a lot for the call. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. Thank you, my friend, for coming on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Of course, there we go. Don't want you to go away from that. All right, guys, we got open phone lines if you want to call up here. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. What was your big key to this game today? Was it the lack of urgency? Was it Baker Mayfield? Was it Todd Bowles? Was it the defense? See you later, my friend. Happy New Year. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow for the ReliaQuest Bowl. So I tell you what, let's go out to these comments and read them off. This team has a chance to take the division and lock up a playoff spot. Terrible game. Agree. Roger Shue, you might want to talk to the Bears about the number 1 pick and get a real quarterback. Let's go out to the man himself, best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy on the evolution of Sports Talk Television, live from Raymond James Stadium. Go, my friend.
I hate that you nail it, Pete, with the lack of urgency. And a lot on the radio, I'll give shout-outs to TJ Reeves doing his locking it down, and then Dave Moore breaking down just a team that looked like it was full of themselves. And here's the thing, Peter, I know you're up in the press booth and I'm down in the field, and they're showing all these clips from the last 4 weeks and the last 4 victories, and the Bucs just seem so loose pregame. Everybody's, but I think it was like, hey, they started reading their own headlines, and I'm thinking, okay, by losing today, and then if we do beat Carolina, and then they end up losing to the Falcons or winning, but we own the tiebreaker, does this help us in any way? Because that was with such a lack of urgency that they played with. I was trying to figure out, is it a good thing if we lose? Can we improve our stock for the playoffs? Because that's exactly how uninspired they play.
Yeah, they played uninspired today, and I was disappointed. And I think TJ hit the nail on the head, and I kind of tweeted this out to a fellow Bucs fan. This team came out with lack of urgency. They were flat from the whistle when that whistle blew today. They didn't come out. The Saints wanted the game more. They came out, made the Bucs pay for those turnovers. They made them pay for Baker Mayfield. They made them pay for the offensive struggles. And then on top of it, when your defense is not able, again, to not get pressure on Derek Carr and allow him to sit back there, any quarterback. We've seen it in the past. We've seen the greatness of friggin' Case Keenum come into Raymond James Stadium and pick this team apart in the past. If you give a quarterback more than 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, he's going to pick you apart. And then furthermore, when you have an opportunity to get off the field on 3rd down, you got to make some plays to get off, and they weren't able to do that. Is it all on the defense? Absolutely not, because your offense has to help you out. You can't continue to have 3 and outs. You can't have a quarterback that's in the MVP type of conversation one week, and then the next week he's in the conversation of, not getting a contract extension with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team.
Well, let me tell you, Pete, and here's the thing.
Yes.
The vibe in that stadium today was electric. It was New Year's Eve. It was playoff football. It felt like everything, all the cards are on the table. It wasn't do or die, but it felt like we could lock it down. And that's the thing is, I think the apprehension or what all of us fans are thinking, I'm hoping you guys up there in the media, since I can call it anytime on the phone.
Shut up and be quiet. I got
This guy sucks.
But it's the fact that it came from the coaches up top, because that play calling on the offensive side, I'm like, wait, who put Dave back in the box, and why is Todd playing it? We know how to play each other, but it just felt like out today with one arm tied behind their back, and it came from the very top, and I think that's what left the sourest taste in all of our mouths.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, you didn't see the lack of urgency. You didn't see them go down the field until later on. It takes, mid-third quarter to get Godwin involved. I mean, you went back to the same old thing when you're going to Cade Otton and Trey Palmer. And I get it. Palmer tweeted out today he's pissed off or he's upset or something. You need to be more upset. You need to hold on to the ball when you make a big play. And they finally get that opportunity to get him involved, and he fumbles the ball. That was the game. It's so frustrating because you're sitting there and you're like, maybe the Bucs have a chance. Maybe the Bucs have a chance. And I have people texting me, are they going to turn this around? Relax. It's early. You know the Bucs. But again, if you continue to play this type of football where you get off to slow starts, the teams get better. You can't continue to do that. And then furthermore, you turn the ball over way too much today. 4 times, you're not going to win in the National Football League. It's not for long, my friend. What else?
And just like we've made an argument for, I'd like to see him play Philly again. I want to see him take on the Niners. I want to see another shot at Buffalo in a Super Bowl or all these teams. The thing is, this team today was the team that was playing against Philly and Frisco and lost to the Bills. This is the Buccaneers team that we had during that stretch. This was not the team we've seen the last 4 weeks. And next year, I'll tell you, next week, Carolina, they know they can be spoiler. This is their Super Bowl, and the Bears fans are still hoping they lose because they want that #1 overall pick. But it sets it all up dramatically, brother. But just a great post-game show. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you in the morning at the ReliaQuest Bowl.
ReliaQuest Bowl, we got you covered here. Keep it tuned here. Keep it set. Of course, you've got LSU without Jaden Daniels, but that's okay. They got lots to prove. A 10th win for Brian Kelly's program as we talk to him this week against the Wisconsin Badgers. And we'll be live here about 10:30 at Raymond James Stadium with helicopters and mowers. Hopefully they're not all around at that point. We probably have bands and fans and stuff like that. So definitely keep it locked here, my friend. Get some sleep. Happy New Year. By the way, really quick, New Year's resolution for 2024, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Go.
Be better.
Love it.
That's it. Love you, brother.
All right, love you, brother. There you go.
Talk
Tampa Bay. Yes, sir. Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy, open phone line. Somebody tried to call in. Tell you what, let's go out to that phone line here really quick. Stand by. Let me go ahead and do my producing as I am on air, like always. Here. All right, let's call this person right here. I don't know who this is. Hopefully it's not a telemarketer. And again, open phone line, 727-255-0391. Want to make sure we take everybody's phone calls today. I know there's a lot of passionate Bucs fans out there that are disappointed with this loss. So let me go out to, let's see who this is. And if they don't answer, then we'll go back out to the comments.
642-9356.
Well, we can't do that. So let's go ahead and go back out to the comments. The pain, absolutely. Roger Shue, Happy New Year. Anthony Edison, hard game to watch. Fellow Bucs fans, absolutely. What a way to end the year. It's a Bucs life. Allen, I don't know what that is at a trash can. I don't know. Let's go out to Ben Parrish. Got a chance to clinch the division. You come out like that. Something's got to change. Absolutely. Roger Shue, no BS in the chat tonight. It's, hey, New Year's Eve. Let's all behave. Let's go out to Ben Parrish. 4 turnovers. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Ill-advised throws by Baker Mayfield. If you put a little bit more air on it, if you lead Trey Palmer, maybe you have a touchdown at that point because it's one-on-one coverage. Furthermore, I think Palmer has to go up there and try to fight for the ball. And if you don't make that catch, at least, try to stop the defender from making that interception. I get it. He's a young wide receiver. We're going to have to do that. So, and then both ends. And then, Baker Mayfield, I don't know where he's throwing the ball there to the corner, throws it right to him. So not a good day for Baker Mayfield, not my head coach. I want to go out to the statistics for the day for Baker Mayfield. 22 for 33, 309, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But a lot of that, in my opinion, was in trash time. Let's go out to our phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Andy from St. Petersburg.
What's going on, Andy? What are your thoughts today on this Bucs loss to the Saints, 23-13, live here from Raymond James Stadium?
It's just disappointing all around. I mean, I've seen worse. It turns out this is my last game as a season ticket holder, but at the same time, and it's not because of the game today. It's just, it's just time. But I've been listening to the hype all week long, and when I get over hype, I get worried.
Right.
And that was my big thing, was just there's too much damn hype. They're going to be listening to each other, and there's just too much too much back patting. And
listen, Andy, I understand where you're coming from, but this team was 4-7, right? And there's a lot of people out there saying Todd Bowles should be fired, Baker Mayfield, rebuild, all this other stuff. I understand the excitement. Go ahead.
I picked them having 5 wins. I mean, early on, because that kind of cap hit.
Right.
I mean, they've gone above and beyond what I thought they were going to do.
Right.
This is just going to be a bonus next week if they do this. It's just going to be a bonus, and you know what? That's not such a bad thing. I love this team, and that's just all there is to it. So I'm disappointed, but there's always next week, and let's go up to Carolina and, you know what? Punish them for what the Saints did today.
Well, I agree. I definitely agree. And hopefully you have a better effort than what you had today. And again, I go back to it. I continue to go back to it. The losses seem like there's a lack of urgency from this team. You got to have that lack of urgency. You didn't have it today. So hopefully they come out with that lack of urgency. Damn, score a touchdown, on the first drive. That would be nice for a change. What else did you see from the game today, Andy?
Well, at the end here, it says a lot about the character of some of the leaders of the team.
Yeah.
When they're coming out at the end saying, look, man, we weren't prepared. They weren't pointing fingers at each other. Well, at least I don't know if they were. We don't see what happens after the game.
Sure.
But I have to say that the crowd, it was a good, solid, loud crowd. Nobody really gave up until almost, when there was like 5 minutes left. But
sure.
They still had a chance. They were still there. 2-point conversion makes it, then who knows what happens after that.
Yeah, some boo birds out today. Disappointing, with the play call, still running the ball when you're down by 17. We saw that today. I don't know what happened to Jake Carmada, but he had a bad game, couple of shank punts. He didn't necessarily have his best game. Huh?
I was afraid he was injured. I said, I hope that doesn't mean he's injured. That was 2 in a row that he shanked.
Yeah, that was unlike him because he's, basically had a great year with the booming punts and that helps. A lot of people laugh about that, but that definitely helps your defense. You get a better field position at the end of the day, and you didn't necessarily have that today either. That definitely wasn't there. Yeah. So, all right, give me your New Year's resolution for 2024 here, Andy.
I just need to get better organized in my life, and that's nothing fancy. Everybody does the same thing every year. So just living healthier and happier. And you know what? Just don't let things get to you. This is just another example of that.
Exactly, my friend. And
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Definitely don't be a stranger on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. And hopefully you get those season tickets back. All right.
Well, we'll see how it goes. It's just, it's probably time. Who knows? It might just be me. Who knows?
All right. All right. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there. Yes, sir. Let me fire them for you. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot for calling the Evolution on Sports Talk Television. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. After your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to 8-8, they lose to the New Orleans Saints 23-13. I know Bucs fans want to talk about it, so let's talk about it. Not my head coach, Alvaro Trash. Anthony says testing. Okay, thank you. Happy New Year to your Bucs. Okay. Pete, tell Roger to stop bullying me. Edison, 5 for 10 for passing. Yeah, it's not going to get it done first half. Let me go out to Jim here. Jim, using your second call. Welcome back to the Evolution. What's on your mind?
Oh, man, yeah, that's another thing. The kicker.
Yeah. Not good.
Boy said he thought the kicker was hurt.
Yeah. Jake Carmada was not good today. Not good. No.
Man, he been on point these last games.
Yeah. I mean,
everything
that, honestly, Jim, and you watched the game just like I did. Everything that could go wrong for this team today went wrong.
Yeah, it was wild. That's wild. Like we went all the way backwards.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I'm gonna root this other team. We get our head out of our butts. And like you said, the leaders said the right things at their interviews. So hopefully they mean it.
Well, listen, this is a veteran. Listen, this is a veteran lineup. They still have veterans on this team. They still had prideful football players that have won a Super Bowl before, namely like a Tristan Wirfs and, of course, a Levante David. They won before. They know what it looks like. They know how it feels like. So you got to go out there and do it. And they only have them to blame. I mean, we could sit here and blame the coach all you want to. We could sit here and blame individual players, but this is a team. They got to play complementary football. The defense has got to get off the field. And furthermore, you got to help your defense out by establishing those drives and converting third downs, which you've been able to do and you weren't able to do today.
Yeah, man, I think, they just need to stay focused and hopefully they get it back together. I mean, it shouldn't be a drop-off like that. So hopefully they just had a bad game.
Yep, that's it. A bad game, but in the worst possible time. Anything else here, Jim?
Nothing much. Hey, you didn't ask me about that New Year's.
Yeah, give me a New Year's resolution here. It's opened up, my friend.
Yeah, I think I need to have organization in my life and lose some of this weight, man. I'm Big Dog Jim for real.
Hey, listen, man. I think we all need to get in better shape. We all need to get organized. Even I sometimes need to get organized with all the things that I do here with the show. Would love to be definitely better organized and do more. I really appreciate you supporting this show. You've always done that. It means a lot to me. Get in shape, my friend. You got plenty of time. Go out there and do it. Go out there and kill it. And we'll see you soon here on The Evolution, all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate you right there. Jim calling the phone line, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. What do you think about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers? That was rough, absolutely. What's going on? Michael Hulk, piss poor. Peter Blake got more passion than the Bucs played today. Certainly seems like it. I'm not bullying you. If I was, I'd just ban you again. Oh, God. All right. Carl says, worst game of the year, hands down. We will win the division next week, but this was a hard game to watch. Agree with you. Harry says, bottom line, Saints wanted it more. I hate excuses. I mean, it's easy to say that, right? Because it's true. We can sit here and again, we can – hold on a sec here. I don't know what's going on with my sound. All right. There we go. All right, we could sit here and, blame coaching and blame Baker Mayfield and blame this and blame that, but you also have to give credit to where credit is due. The Saints had everything to lose in this game also. And if they take care of their business, they still have their playoff lives. But now they have to depend on the Bucs losing in order for them to get in. So what you do, if you're a Bucs fan, is, of course, you turn the page like this old year to the new year, and you hope and you stay positive that this Bucs team could come out and put on a better effort and a better show. So absolutely correct about that. Baker's talking about being a Buck a little too seriously. Roger Shue, you also said the Bears were going to win in the division and that Justin Fields was the next big thing. Don't act like you're right all the time. Absolutely agree on that. Good comments. Let me see that. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Anthony Richardson, I'm right. At least that Roger Shue calls it, unlike you. Maybe it's because he doesn't live at home. Yeah, I haven't heard from Roger Shue. I thought you would be calling in, seeing it's Victory Sunday night, Victory Monday for your Chicago Bears. You're exactly right about that. Roger says, I'm not perfect. I'm a homer like Pete. Jeff says, still pissed at every coach on our staff. We have no leadership outside of a great GM, but need a new head coach. So, lots of fans out there are going to sit there and say still, Todd Bowles, you need a new coach. But I'm telling you right now, if you close it out against the Carolina Panthers, they're most likely not going to fire the coach. I hate to tell you. But again, it's a bad effort. I understand it. Tell you what, let's go out to this guy right here, the tribal troll.
Acknowledge me.
Mr. Roger Shue, welcome to the Evolution.
And you shall receive.
Yes. What's going on, Roger? How you doing? Your thoughts on this game today?
Victory Monday to start the new year for the Chicago Bears.
Yes, I know you were going to talk about that. I know you're happy about that, although you ruined your draft position, but it's not about draft position at this point.
No. We have secured the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft.
That's right. You got the Carolina Panthers, but your own draft positioning. But you're going to bring back Matt Eberflus. He's going to be your next coach. I mean, what do you think about the Bears bringing him back?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I want Luke Getsy fired.
Okay. All right. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how that goes. What did you think about the Bucs game today, Roger?
What in the name of God happened to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I mean, again, I think
Did they have on creamsicle jerseys or what happened?
I mean, you turn over the ball 4 times. You don't have any urgency. You get off to slow starts. I mean, where do you want to begin? I mean, your quarterback doesn't play well in the first half. You have to rally. You become one-dimensional.
Looking like that, do you honestly think Baker deserves $20 million a year?
I think there are times this year where he's definitely looked like a $20 million quarterback. And I think also
there's times overall for this entire season, I would give him 10. And if he doesn't like it, let him walk.
We'll see. We'll definitely see what the Bucs do. And I think it definitely depends on his level of play. Can he lead this team to the playoffs? Can he take care of the ball, which he wasn't able to do today? What's his overall play? I think the Bucs and Jason Light and company are going to definitely evaluate that situation. So it remains to be seen. But
Put yourself in Jason Light's position. What would you do? How much would you offer him?
Again, I think it depends on what he does to finish out the year. I'm willing to bring him back, but if he doesn't lead this team to the playoffs and he continue, I don't know. I know where, because I go back and forth on Baker. Like, I like Baker and I like his moxie and I like what he brings to the table. But then he has a majority game like this, and you're like, damn, he's so inconsistent. So I really don't know. I have to see the full body of work and have to evaluate it. So
okay, you have one more game left to evaluate. Let's say
you have 2 more games because if he beats the Carolina Panthers and he plays relatively well with the numbers out there, and I don't think he's going to earn a big-time contract like a lot of people out there said. My co-host thought, he could earn a $40 million contract because of the market. I'm not necessarily sure about that, but I definitely think they're going to evaluate that situation, and if he does lead the Bucs to the playoffs and he does play relatively well, then they'll go ahead and go with that extension, I believe.
Okay, so if the Buccaneers lose next week,
yes,
what do you do? How does your position change on Baker?
I think everything changes at that point, Roger. It's a good question. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to run here. I'm going to go out to the phone lines. Good question.
Awesome pregame, awesome postgame.
Thank you, sir.
New Year's resolution?
Yes.
To hate Green Bay Packers more than I do now.
All right. Appreciate you, Roger Shue. Let me go back out. See you later, my friend. Let me go out to the phone lines here. I've got to get this guy on. I think I know who it is, but we'll come back out to it here. Welcome back to the Evolution live from Raymond James Stadium as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Saints 23-13 to go to 8-8. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Sports Web.
Hey, this is Trevor.
What's going on? What's going on, Trevor? What do you think about this game today? What are your thoughts?
I'm extremely disappointed, man. First and foremost, I'm not going to sit here and just blame Baker, okay?
Agree.
I know that's the easy route that everybody wants to do, but if you watch the game, you clearly saw like we as a team all together just flat out suck today.
Yeah, I think all phases you could say it. I mean, you could say about the defense because they're not able to get off the field. They're not able to get after Carr. They didn't put enough pressure on them. Open wide receivers, that's on coaching. Having this team ready to go, to me, that's on coaching. Baker Mayfield not being accurate, turning over the ball. I mean, there is a multitude, Leo word, of reasons why this team lost today versus the Saints. It's not just one thing. That's the disappointing thing about it, the whole thing about it.
Absolutely. Plenty of blame to go around.
Yeah.
Let me first start off by starting with the coaches.
Yeah.
I don't know what the message was in the locker room this week, but to me, it seemed like we almost felt – it seemed like they felt as if they had already won the game before they played it.
Yeah.
And they overlooked the Saints. And they, I don't know how everybody else felt, but I knew the Saints were going to throw the kitchen sink at us this week.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Even if the Saints hate us just as badly as we hate them. So even if they were already eliminated out of the playoffs,
yeah,
they still would have done everything they could to beat us. It's that classic. I don't know if you remember, but back in 2016, when we was pushing for the playoffs, the Saints were already eliminated, and then I think it was week 15 we had to play them.
Yes,
they basically they beat us. They didn't have nothing to play for, but they beat us and basically knocked us out of playoff contention.
Well, you're exactly right. I remember that game because it was Christmas Eve, and Doug Martin before the game, I believe, is inactive because of his problems off the field, and they went
Absolutely.
with Jaquez Rogers at that point, and just hearing that report, you didn't feel good about what was going to happen and what was going to transpire. And, of course, that was the year also where the Bucs had the opportunity on prime time to take care of the Dallas Cowboys with second year of Jameis Winston and not able to take care of it. So
absolutely,
you're completely correct about that. The Saints are always been a hated rival. This is the reason why, whether they're dirty or not. And look, on the other side of that sideline, Dennis Allen, he has to keep his job. So he has to have his team ready to go. They were thoroughly embarrassed last time in the Big Easy where the Bucs dominated them 26-9. So they were going to come out and give the best effort that they could. Hold on a sec here. I don't know what is going on with this wire. There we go. You can hear me now.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, again, 26-9. So they had to redeem themselves, and they still are, fighting for their playoff lives. So of course they're going to give it their best effort.
Yeah, and I got news for all my Buck fans out there. The Panthers they're gonna try to do the exact same thing to us next week.
Yeah.
Whether they succeed or not, they have nothing to play for.
Exactly.
Which makes them extremely dangerous.
Spoiler City, my friend. Spoiler City. Yes.
Yes. They're gonna throw the kitchen sink at us. They are gonna play extremely aggressive. They're gonna do everything in their power to beat us next week. So I hope that this was a learning and a teaching and a lesson for all the players in that locker room, the coaches, that we have to play with a sense of urgency because we got to get this done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want anybody to be fired. I don't want us to not keep Baker. I like what we got at that organization.
I do too. And again, there's been flashes of brilliance. You see, going back to it, because you go back to last week, you feel good about it. You feel good about dominating the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I don't care if Trevor Lawrence is hurt. That's still an 8-win team. That's also a team, that's trying to get to the playoffs and get to that next level. So it's a good win, and they thoroughly dominated the Jacksonville Jaguars. And even you saw this today at the beginning of the game. It just looked like the Bucs weren't all there. Like, they were flat. There was no urgency. I keep on going back to it. And you can't continue to play like that. You can't continue to live like that. If you want to live in 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 12, it's eventually going to haunt you. It's going to come back to haunt you. And to a certain degree, it absolutely did that today. And again, the urgency is not there with this team. And it's disappointing because you would think that with everything on the line with the Bucs trying to win that division versus the Saints, that they would come out and have a better effort.
I agree. And then I'll end and say this to the players in that locker room. I don't know if they listen or not, but just here, I'll say this. If you guys really want this season to continue, if you guys really love each other and want to play for each other, then you go out there next week and you take care of business in Carolina because that's what it's going to take to keep this thing together.
Love it. All right, let me get your New Year's resolution, Trevor, for 2024.
My New Year's resolution is I want to see my team at Raymond James Stadium wild card weekend. That's my New Year's resolution.
All right, it's New Year's resolution, and that's simple. I thought it was going to get organized, get in shape, but Trevor makes it very simple here on the Evolution. He wants to see his team a wild card weekend, or hopefully not wild card Monday night, but you never know, depending on the Cowboys and the Eagles. We'll see, my friend. Anything else here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television?
But last but not least, I love my team and go Bucs.
Yeah, go Bucs. Let me go ahead and fire the air horn. Appreciate the call, Trevor. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. New Year's resolutions. Trevor wants to see this team at Wild Card Weekend. Ed and I believe Andy, they want to get more organized, get in shape. I mean, that seems like the popular things to say, right? And you want the same thing for the Bucs. You want the Bucs to come out with urgency if you want that New Year's resolution on Wild Card Weekend. It's easy to say, but you're going to get the opportunity. This Bucs team is going to get the opportunity to act on that. All right, let's go back out to the comments here every time. Roger Shue says, I'm right. Laugh out loud, dude. Let's go out to Cyber Charles Bronson. I've seen enough of Bowles. He needs to go after next year. We'll see. Every time the analysts give us credit. Anthony Richardson, I'm the one that always supports Pete. Early to watch his shows, last to stay up while you're all sleeping. Dan says, there goes Baker stepping up. Huge spit with 48 yards of passing, 22 quarterback rating in the first half. Did nothing until it was already over. Classic Baker. Yeah, I mean, that's disappointing. That's the disappointing thing about Baker Mayfield. I mean, which Baker are you going to get? Are you going to get the good Baker or are you going to get the bad Baker? He's largely inconsistent. And that's what you're going to have to go through. That's what, the Bucs are going to have to evaluate. Is he your quarterback in the future? If he is your quarterback in the future, how much does that cost you? I'll throw it out there. Russell Wilson. Just work with Dave Canales. If the Bucs decide to move on from Baker Mayfield, is that a guy in that conversation? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Throwing it out there. Let's see here. I'm right. That's one thing I'll give you credit for. Roger Shue, I'm here before and after you, talking about the show behind the scenes. Laugh out loud, says Jim. Jesus is laughing, I guess. Jim says, here we go. Here we go. Give us Russell Wilson. I threw that out there. Where's the coach out there? Turnover the ball. Absolutely. Coaching wasn't there today. Did he have this team ready to go? Certainly didn't seem like it. We heard from the great TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network talking to those guys, and a Tristan Wirfs and a Levante David, who once again is a Super Bowl champion, saying they will not ready to play. That's a problem. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing for a lot of Bucs fans out there. Because you come to support this team. You want to see this team clinch a division on your home field, and you're not going to get the opportunity for it. Blame the coach when we lose. Again, we go back to it. Peter H. Blake, anything on Baker's injury? Is he good? Took a wicked shot. Definitely looked like it was a shoulder kind of thing and looked like a rib kind of deal. You seen him on the sideline. He was definitely in some pain. So we'll monitor that situation, and we'll see how that goes. So thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate that. You still haven't gave Pete his wings for losing a bet. Harry the Greek says, now we're getting back on the bandwagon of firing the coach. Buck sucks, says Anthony. Saints won the line of scrimmage today on both sides of the ball. Saints wanted it more than the Bucs did, bottom line. I mean, I'm going to go out to the statistics here, right? 4 turnovers by the Bucs. How many sacks in this game by the Saints? Let's see here. How many sacks? I'm looking at the number right now. Let's see here. What'd you have? You had 1 sack there by Bond. You had Breeze with another sack. And, the first half there, they got their 2 first downs on penalty situations. They were fortunate. They were fortunate to convert to those first downs because of penalties by the Saints. 1 with grabbing Baker's helmet. So 2 sacks, and again, largely for the day, maybe the numbers don't show it, but they didn't give Baker the time, and on top of it, they stuffed the running game. And when White had his best run of the day, he gets the ball knocked out and fumbles the ball. So good stuff there, Ben. Appreciate you as always. Yeah. Let's go out to Anthony Richardson, draft Michael Penix Jr. No super chat him $50 or $100 for him to buy them. How much do you super chat? Oh, $0. Yeah. Super chats are open. Facebook stars are open. Give to the calls. Appreciate you. As always, Roger Shue. Playoffs. I just hope we can win a game. Let's go back out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Curtis.
What's up, Curtis? How you doing? What are your thoughts on this game today? I know that you have to be largely disappointed with the effort, lack thereof. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I really don't. I mean, it's we always have the same. The Saints games are always weird. Always.
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't know that, they just you're being. I'm not trying to bash anybody, but you're just kind of being delusional. So,
yeah.
What I really want people to focus on is, and I'm not trying to say this year is over yet, but when you're looking at next year, does Baker deserve an extension, and does Todd Bowles deserve an extension? That's what we should be looking at.
Well, I think, and I think you would have to agree with me on this, that it largely depends on what happens next week, and then what happens in the playoffs, and then you evaluate everything. You evaluate Baker Mayfield, because I like Baker Mayfield, and I even said, and I'm gonna get heat for this on social media. I'm okay with it. I want all the smoke. You can put him in that conversation.
I love his confidence. I love his cockiness. I love his attitude.
Yeah.
Those are the things that you have to love about the guy.
Right.
And the other question beside that is, do you draft another quarterback?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on where you're at this point, where you're picking. And then, furthermore, who's there? Is there a guy that you want? Because I threw it out there. Russell Wilson is going to be released. He's expecting to be released. They're going to turn the page on him. Russell Wilson has worked with Dave Canales. Is that a guy that you think the Bucs would be interested in? As a fan of the Bucs, would you be interested in Russell Wilson? How much you get Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson is going to Atlanta.
Okay.
I can see it now.
You can see it now. You think he's going to go to Atlanta with Sierra? That's what you think?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Good call. I think you could be right about that.
Yep.
So,
but I mean, it's a disappointing loss.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But what I want everybody to remember is think about where everybody had this team this year.
Yeah.
Nobody even thought this team would be in this conversation right now.
Right.
So, Baker Mayfield was has been. He was washed up. He was done.
Yeah.
He's a journeyman. He's this. He's that. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, are they damaged goods? Obviously not. What's this offensive line going to look like after they couldn't protect Brady last year?
Yeah.
All the question marks have been answered.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a perfect season, but these guys are fighting. That's the point.
They're continuing to fight. They're not getting blown out, and even in this game, yeah.
And they're showing that they still believe in Todd Bowles. They haven't given up on Bowles yet.
Right.
So just we'll see next week. And I don't want to say we should blow the doors off of Carolina, but we should win this game.
Yeah, you should definitely win this game. They did struggle versus Carolina, winning 21-18. Baker also had a rough game in that, but made some big plays with Mike Evans. You saw him making some big plays with Evans. Here's my question for you. Why does it take so long to get a Mike Evans involved, and especially a Chris Godwin? Because it seemed like, to me, Godwin during this 4-game winning streak was definitely, a focal point of this offense. And today we didn't see a lot of that. Do you give credit to the Saints, or is that once again the Bucs just kind of forgetting about, their two playmakers and an Evans and a Godwin, in your opinion?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, you got to listen, for years we've been dealing with the Saints defense. And as much as you hate them as a Bucs fan, you respect them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that defense has always been there.
Yeah.
So even when Sean Payton was there, when they were having 7 and 9 seasons, that defense was always in the top 10. Always.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch the game next week. Obviously, we don't even have a time frame on the game next week because it's to be determined.
Right.
And
most likely could be a 4:00 game with the playoff implications. It's saying it could be a 4:00 game. So we'll keep you abreast of that situation.
I mean, obviously, besides the Bucs game, we're definitely going to be watching the New Orleans and the Falcons game. So
right, exactly.
So
exactly.
But I don't know. I mean, like I said, this season, I didn't know what to expect. All I knew is I wanted to see if those boys were going to come out and fight for Bowles.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they have.
Yeah.
So I take my hat off to Bowles. He didn't have Brady to distract the team this year.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, we damn near have the same record we had last year.
Yeah, and again, you've seen improvement with this team. I get it. Maybe the record is not indicative of that. Although if you beat the Carolina Panthers, that's a 1-game improvement. You had an opportunity today to go 2 games. You're not going to be able to do that. But guess what? If you beat the Carolina Panthers, you win the South, and then by chance, if you get on that roll again where you play your best football, and Curtis, we've seen this team be able to do that during that winning streak, then who knows? All bets are off. That's definitely a sign of improvement.
And I know it's not a big deal, but how about 3-time division champion in a row?
Yeah,
how about that?
That's not too bad.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? How about that?
Yeah.
All right, what's your New Year's resolution for 2024, Mr. Curtis?
Honestly, just to save as much money as I can.
All right.
That's really it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it is.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I mean, I wish everybody good luck. Things are hard. Things are expensive. Rent is through the roof. Groceries is through the roof.
Sure.
So, it's just, I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to be happy, and try to save your damn money.
Save your damn money, because rent is high, gas is high, and of course food is high.
Dude, I went to the store. I went to the store the other day, and a 2-liter of soda was like $3.50. I was like, holy crap!
Right.
What is going on?
I know.
I'm like, are we at the Bucs game buying concessions food? Like, what's going on?
Right, exactly. It makes concession prices just ridiculous at the end of the day. You're exactly right. Curtis, I appreciate the call and the support of the Sports Web. Thank you very much, my friend. Let me go ahead and get out to open phone lines. We'll stay on a little bit longer. We'll read some more comments, and then we will get you off to your night. I know it's not necessarily on the best note here with the Bucs losing, but definitely, guys, be safe out there on this New Year's Eve. And, of course, we'll be back for the ReliaQuest Bowl nice and early here, live on I Love St. Pete. My site here, Amped Up Sports, all the great sites. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web here. So let's go back out to these comments. You better not be a Buccaneer fan rooting for somebody else. Jeff says, first and always since 78, true fan. We have too many great players with a trouble coaching staff there, no leadership. Is not a bandwagon fan perception. No, I get that. I understand it. And again, there are times that you become very frustrated watching this team because you don't understand. We've seen them come out and be aggressive. We've seen the play calling be better. We've seen the players execute better. And you didn't see that today at the best time that you would think you would see that when everything is on the line. I get that. I understand it. I only gave my $50, $100 to strippers off of Del Mabry. Sorry. Okay. Thank you very much. Nick says big game at home and flat. Same scenario. Out coach, game plan. Put most of that on the offensive line. Is terrible. Secondary, terrible. What the hell happened to our punter? Agree. Roger says they don't take EBT, quit line. Andy says too much pregame high ball week. Andy, again, I think you called before. Thank you very much for tuning in. I always get worried when that happens. Facebook user, Bucs win next week. They win the division. If they lose, the winner of the Falcons and Saints wins the division. Exactly. So, take care of your business. Take care of your business versus the Carolina Panthers, which is a winnable game. But we've seen in the National Football League that it is a week-by-week league as the Philadelphia Eagles stumble today versus the Arizona Cardinals. Yes. Falcons play New Orleans next week. Megan says Carmada did have a bad day. Absolutely. I blame Bulls for not knowing how to make in-game adjustments. It's basic coaching. Sandra Nagel watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web, Amped Up Sports. I Love St. Pete. Great show as always. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Let's go out to Mike D. Roche. Gutless, passionless, execution-less football. Even Camardo was crap, just pathetic. Jeff says defense was pathetic today. Their leader is Bulls. I've talked about it. Whether you're missing Carlton Davis, which you were, you're missing Shaq Bear today. Did that hurt? I think it did. Although, Shaq coming off an injury hasn't been as effective. Let's just put it out there. But, yeah, you got to get more pressure. It's not like guys didn't show up. Yaya Diaby made some plays today. Another tackle for loss. Kalijah Cansey also showed up today, but not enough. Not enough pressure on the quarterback. Even Todd Bowles in this defensive unit would agree. Coming out flat at home with so much at stake. Bowles said the same thing after the bye week, and they lost. Harry Berg says the cupcake maker went from $40 million per year to $15 per year, all in one game. Lose the next game, $0 per year. Rashad White, trash. He will never be Doug Martin Award done. Greg, that's a coaching issue. TJ, he is, the Israel Adoncier of broadcasting. Thank you, Greg. Levante David with the excuses, shaking my head. I don't think it's an excuse. I just think they're being honest when they say they weren't ready to play. And I think that you would appreciate that honesty from the leadership of this team. No leadership is so evident. Joe, there is no reason to be playing flat. You're a championship team. You should be playing like champions. By the way, Happy New Year to you guys. Absolutely sad loss. Anthony, oh my God, Harry wants to talk about the Bears again. Ralph, Happy New Year to you. Peter, JP, Harry, thank you, sir, very much. Anthony, do not talk bad about the host of the show or you will be banned. Michael Walker, Saints took it to them. Bucs were not in the game. Sorry, TJ. Happy New Year to you. Absolutely. Michael, was fun at Fergs today. Talked to the owner of Fergs. Thank you very much, Mr. Mark Ferguson. Hope you had a great time today over there at Fergs. To me, it looked like the Saints were playing for a playoff spot, not us. Fighting on the Chiefs sidelines in the Chiefs-Bengals game. Interesting. Saints were the better team, absolutely. Jeff says, I still don't think our players like our coaches. Jeff, again, appreciate the positive vibes. I still hate our coaching staff. Anthony Mahomes just got knocked out. Really? Wow. Joe, I would love for the Bucs to follow TJ Reeves behind the scenes to see how he does a wonderful job with the Bucs. Yeah, I mean, he's a true professional. I mean, the great Paul Stewart of buckpower.com, which, by the way, if you want to see or listen to a podcast, the No Quarter Given podcast with Jason Powers, yours truly. And he said he's a media icon. So I definitely will not dispute him on that. TJ does a tremendous job. Why the NFL is king? Absolutely. What if the Saints and Bucs both lose? It's a great question. I still believe the Bucs would have the advantage because of what TJ talked about, having a better overall NFC record or conference record. Go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to Scott. Out-coach, outplay. Tristan. It was all Baker. When he played well, it was Baker delivered us. Now in a loss, stay strong, champ. Tim says we played poorly. End of story. Otten is trash. Christopher Cole, they played too scared. Joe, here's something no one is talking about. What if the league puts new week's game on Saturday? That will be interesting. Andy says that was me. I'm listening on the phone. It didn't ring. Appreciate you, Andy. I'll try again. Thanks a lot for calling. Defense only allowed 6 points in the second half. They need a sense of urgency, not a lack of urgency. Hey, Ray, what's the soup of the day at the soup kitchen? Scott, the whole team came out flat and had no urgency. That's the story of the day. No urgency at all. Let's go out to Andy. It's the same TB Ray from the old SB Times board. Happy New Year, sir. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Christopher Cole, where was the outside runs and sweeps? Didn't see that today. Mike D. Roche, plain and simple, Saints wanted it more than the Bucs. Simple as that. You know I'm right. Ask him when the season ends, Roger. Let's go out to David. I think Baker has earned that 20 to 25 million. Hell, we're paying a quarterback 28 million to sit home this year. Baker's almost the same stats as Brady did last year, and Brady wanted to play one more year at almost 40 million. Y'all wouldn't argue. All right. Happy New Year, Peter H. Blake. Keep doing what you do. Appreciate you as always. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Let's go out to Scott here. Also, Happy New Year, Peter. Everyone out there in Bucs Nation. Panthers owner threw a drink on his fans from the box. Boy, he's a beaut. Mike sure looked that way. Scott, also the Bucs defense on third down was horrible. Yeah, I mean, let's go out to that statistic right there. Third down conversions, 8 for 18. And at certain points in this game, it was 6 or 9. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and, tell you that that's all in the defense because the offense couldn't establish any drives. But if you figure that you're a top-notch defense, you got to get off the field. And you got to get after the quarterback, and you got to make some plays on third down. Let's go out to Game On. Agree with everything, but can we talk about Canales' play calling? Doesn't have any sense of urgency. You see too high safeties or receivers are done. He goes back to ignoring Godwin. I love to call in. Mike, call in if you want to. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So call in. Do it. Paul Richardson, hope Baker ain't hurt bad. Mike, watch your players' body language every time there was a non-conversion on third down. Players look defeated, heads down, zero urgency and passion. Joe, don't think our comments are going through. They are. I see them. I'm reading them right now. I don't like watching White run the ball. Chase Edmonds is better running, in my opinion. Large part of that problem is that the OL does not create enough holes for White. I don't know why. Let's go out to Steve. Look like the Bucs thought they won the division and focused on the Saints. Let's go out to Scott Bradford. Carr had no constant quarterback pressure today. Let's go out to Carol. Okay, I don't know what that is, but thank you very much for the prayer. Ricky says, why can't we ever pressure the quarterback? Carr had all day long. Okay, Joe, Carolina is interesting. Yes, they are awful, but this is the kind of game that could just upset the Bucs. Do not take the Panthers for granted. This is not a sure win. Trask says, Andrew, Mike, will Jensen be back next year? Not sure about that, Mike, but if you want to call in, you can call in 727-255-0391. I'm not sure. He was on the sideline, looked thin. Mike COC, the Bucs played themselves today. Animal, what are your thoughts on the possibility of Bucs playing this Saturday? I'm not sure about that. Barrett being out didn't help. Roger Shue, what did you eat in the press box? Plenty of food. Todd Bowles and Canales are fired. And Greek is a Bonefish Grill. Greek is at the Bonefish Grill. That's all your comments. Let me go out to Instagram Live here. Zach Mitchell says, Pete, nobody really got open downfield for Baker. The commentators kept mentioning that. Why do they keep trying to run the same kind of play when they weren't getting anything? We got out coached. Saints just wanted to win the game more. We had no sense of urgency or fight in the game. Listen, guys, after this dismal performance, I wouldn't be so confident about the game in Carolina. They can't overlook them. Comment of the day, you can't overlook the Carolina Panthers. That's for sure. So, yes, it is disappointing that you lose to the New Orleans Saints 23-13 live here from Raymond James Stadium. But you have an opportunity to take care of business and win the NFC South next week. To be determined what the time is. Thanks a lot for all the calls. Thanks a lot for all the interaction. Thanks a lot to the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. What's my New Year's resolution? To put out the best sports talk show out there, to be better as a sports broadcaster here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Guys, be safe. Do three things for me as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to 8-8, but they're still in it to win it. We'll see what they can do against the Carolina Panthers. You know it. You love it. You got to have it. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, Tampa Bay sports fans, it's your time. Happy New Year, and we'll see you tomorrow for ReliaQuest Bowl activity coverage all day long on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Good night.